By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I constitute this assembly a congregation of the University of Cape Town.
May we all please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to invite a member of the SRC to read the university dedication.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Witumelo Mpahlele, and I am the Social Responsive Coordinator of the SRC 2026. At this time of celebration, we, the members of the University of Cape Town, reaffirm our mission to nurture rational and creative thought and free inquiry, to strive for excellence in teaching and research, to educate for life, and to address the challenges of our society. We undertake to advance these ideals in a spirit of freedom and responsibility and through consultation and debate. We celebrate our founders, benefactors, and presiders, those who have built the fabric and nourished the values of UCT. To you who is graduating, today we wish courage, wisdom, and purpose. To you who will leave the university to learn and work elsewhere, may you be sustained by those values which unite us here today and advance them in the world beyond. A love of truth, of learning, and of this our university. May you be successful in all your future endeavors. Congratulations. Thank you.
You may all be seated. The presiding officer for this graduation ceremony this morning is our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Musa Mushabela. Good morning, graduates, families, friends, colleagues, and distinguished guests. It is a pleasure to welcome you to the University of Cape Town's graduation ceremony for the Faculty of Science. Today, we celebrate the achievements of our Bachelor of Science graduates, as well as honors, masters, and PhD candidates. This is indeed a proud moment. It marks years of focused study, years of persistence and intellectual curiosity, from long hours in laboratories in fieldwork sites to late nights working through data, models, and experiments. You have shown discipline and commitment. Today is the result of that effort. Science is built on asking fundamental questions and testing ideas. Along the way, many of you faced uncertainty. Experiments did not always go as planned. Models did not predict as expected. Results required rethinking, yet you adapted. You learned and kept going. That mindset is what defines a scientist, and it will serve you well beyond this university. We also recognize that no one reaches this stage alone. To the families, friends, and staff here today, thank you. Your encouragement, your patience, and belief have carried our graduates through demanding moments. This achievement belongs to you as well. To our academic staff, thank you for your dedication to teaching, research, and mentorship. You have guided, challenged, and supported our students to reach this milestone. And to our professional and support staff, your work behind the scenes has created an environment where learning and discovery can thrive. We value your contribution. To start our program, we begin with the musical performance by students from the South African College of Music. Music, like science, is a language that transcends the boundaries of what we know. It reaches into what we feel, and in that liminal space between reason and wonder, it reminds us why we pursue truth in the first place. And before we go further, let us open our hearts to the gift of melody. And let me introduce then the artists this morning. We are delighted to invite soprano Dineo Bukala and pianist Marlene Flock to perform for us today. They will perform the Tonani Aviage from Handel's opera Alcina. Thank you. That was beautiful. And in the world of music, I'm told, beauty is the ultimate tribute. That was beautiful. The vibrant South African College of Music at UCT is considered to be one of the leading music schools in South Africa, on the continent, and of course, globally, offering a diverse range of genres of music from African and world music, classical, jazz, music technology, and opera. Dineo is currently pursuing her second-year postgraduate diploma in opera performance, studying under Paulina Malefane. Malin completed her postgraduate diploma in piano performance at UCT, this institution, under Estia Krige in 2024. And the procession was led by Marimba Jam, an award-winning social enterprise that both performs and teaches the African marimbas in Cape Town, in Johannesburg, and recently in Durban. The company originally sprang from an outreach initiative created in 2012 to share the joy of playing marimbas with learners from under-resort schools. And now this Marimba Jam is a driving company that performs at a wide range of events, while their non-profit organization branch reaches out to vulnerable communities.
We are excited to know that science is not just a collection of facts and more. We are delighted that you have chosen science not only for your own interest, but for the entire world to understand more of its discoveries. Now that you have taken it upon yourselves to be the ambassadors of finding more, we as the entire world, we have less to worry about. We say congratulations to you, honorables. We say congratulations to you, and now go and make us proud. Sibamba ngazo zosibini kuni bazali salamane nabakhasi bemfundo yabo ngaphandle kwendlebe zenu zokumamela ngaphandle kwamagxalaba enu okulilela ngaphandle kwempokotho zenu ezishukuxekileyo ngekungenje. Your dedication and your support will never go unnoticed. We acknowledge you. Hi, hi, magwetina zintuba buchopho. Nina ni mabela bhonxileyo. Apha zonke ezinsana zincela khona. Namhlanje we salute you. We honor you. Pat yourselves on the shoulder and say, well done. Phambili ngemfundo phambili. Phambili ngemfundo phambili. Ndingumagaba ucihosha umntu omlambo uthithibha umsuthu umjobi. Uthikoloshino zinga. Ephume sithi zonke izizwe zisondelene bonke abantu Diphuma ndisejeje, dinyantsula, yeha, halala.
Long before the written word, our ancestors understood a profound truth, that knowledge lives not in books and laboratories, but in the breath of a people, in a memory of a community, in the voice that names what others dare not speak. The Imbongi carries that ancient wisdom in our present. We are grateful for that. Now, an Imbongi is a composer and an orator of poems of praise. Imbongi offers critical commentary and narrative on the state of society through their Izibongo, the praises. The poem of praise, an Umbongo, was offered in honor of the graduates, their families, and teachers. The praise poet for today's ceremony is Neliswa Sambi. Neliswa, also known as Nelly K, depicts herself as a vocalist, a poet, a dancer, a drummer, a percussionist with other different African traditional music instruments, and a composer who defines her stage performance with a huge presence and a finesse unique voice. This dynamic songstress brings new meaning to Afropop, to Afro jazz, gospel, and African traditional music. She's also a music education graduate, currently teaching at one of the schools in Cape Town. A sincere thank you to you, Neliswa. Thank you for your poem of praise. Thank you.
By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I admit to the degrees specified and grant the diplomas and certificates specified to the candidates recorded as in absentia. I shall now grant the diplomas and certificates and admit to the degrees specified the candidates to be presented to me.
Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree Bachelor of Science, Tobia Gracious Bercheku. Ray Kendra Raghubir. Shiham Rahman. Lesedi Koketso Rakakule. With distinction in astrophysics and the degree with distinction, Abani Ralo. Tia Ramadar. Vanessa Mapaseka Rampedi. Chabang Selo Rasabitsia. Pinduro Rachilumela. Rishendran Reddy. Luke Radden Marshall Reed. With distinction in computer engineering and computer science and the degree with distinction, Mika Sherwin Retief. Jenna Page Rigby. Jessica Jade Rowland. Aslan Patrick Rousseau. Zachary Gabriel Roussos. Jenna Sky Rowley. Ruth Ann Rudolph. Luke Daniel Reiters. With distinction in genetics and the degree with distinction, Lauren John Russell. With distinction in computer engineering and computer science, Dylan Timothy Simon. Aisha Saban. Kamil Saib. Muhammad Azhar Sali. Mujahid Sali. Amara Samai. Iman Samudin. Joshua Samuels. Daniel Francis Sadina. With distinction in computer science and mathematics and the degree with distinction, Daniel Luke Schlesinger. David Eric Schmidt. Brad Robert Scott. Victoria Gisela Seal. Lesiba Jackson Sabati. Orena Diema Sebona. Massa Juliet Selela. Retumetse Shadrach Sepoko. Ziad Shabuddin. Ntutuko Shange. With distinction in applied statistics and economics and the degree with distinction, Unnati Shankar. Dylan Grant Sherry. Timna Shushu. Cabello Caroline Sibanda. Jesse Collins Sibetane. Umpumelelo Nhlizio Sibia. Asanda Angel Sikusana. York Martin Singer. Max Thomas Smith. Nicola Allegra Smith. With distinction in environmental and geographical science, Robin Leslie Smith. Tristan Justice Smith Harding. With distinction in computer science and the degree with distinction, Lawton Bjorn Springbok. Caitlin Haybury Steenkamp. With distinction in astrophysics and the degree with distinction, Yulan Bulis Steenkamp. Tavonga Derek Collins Tawanesby. Daniela Tavere. Ella Elizabeth Thorburn. Sancho Emerson Tor. Roxy Elizabeth Trailer. Alexander William True. Kamokelo Tsele. Lifelishle Mdumiseni Shabalala. Bonani Chwane. Katleho Tsolo. Nandile Tiokolo. With distinction in computer science and statistics and data science, and the degree with distinction, Chidibere Emmanuel Uma. Luke John Van Coller. With distinction in chemistry, Ewan Sandach van der Walt. With distinction in applied mathematics and astrophysics, and the degree with distinction, Isabella van Heestien. With distinction in applied statistics and computer science, and the degree with distinction, Kai van Niekerk. Zia van Niekerk. With distinction in applied statistics and computer science, and the degree with distinction, Edmund Johan van Rooyen. Erin Lara Velsic. Adele Zanthia Fenter. Jan Willem Verhoef. Zoe Gabriel Vermaak. Owam Vetezu. With distinction in applied statistics and computer science, and the degree with distinction, Mustafa van Doze. Donfac Happiness Walter. Charlotte Rose Warren. With distinction in human anatomy and physiology, Farrell Kyler Watson. With distinction in computer science and statistics and data science, and the degree with distinction, Kelvin Way. Ross Anthony Westerway. Jack James Wiltshire. Rui Xuan Calvin Wu. With distinction in computer science, Yi Xuan Wu. With distinction in computer science, Jing Jonathan Ye. Zizipo Ethel Yekelo. Maliviwe Zenzile. Betty Zhu. With distinction in finance, Mishle Zungula.
Bachelor of Science Honors, Ibrahim Abdu. In the first class, Amara Abdullah. In the first class, Ashika Adams. In the first class, Mahir Ahmad. In the first class, Temiloluwa Aina. In the first class, Catalina Althoff Thompson. Rahima Babu. In the first class, Cassandra Barbas. In the first class, Connor Jaden Barr. In the first class, Zahra Bawa. Naveel Bikaram. In the first class, Channing Bellamy. In the first class, Unaeus Bard. In the first class, Kate Macquarie Birch. In the first class, Kaylin Block. In the first class, Michaela Boardman. Robin Jennifer Borgstrom. In the first class, Alexandra Bouch. In the first class, Jack Brand. Joshua Conville Brits. Rohan Kirath Chetty. Daneo Chilawane. In the first class, Julia Charles. In the first class, Kimon Christelis. Katharina Clark. In the first class, Adam James Colon. In the first class, Alexander Christaudu. In the first class, Dimitrios Delakas. In the first class, Stylianos Delakas. Chulamanko Dana. In the first class, Muhammad Usair Davids. In the first class, Matthew Daniel Dean. In the first class, Gabriel de Freitas. In the first class, Jessica Kate Devine. In the first class, Lilith Emma Diener. Victoria Dingle. Diane Dutoy. In the first class, Max Elkington. In the first class, St. Christian Fenner. In the first class, Muhammad Fazel Ilhai. In the first class, Maya Anna Fulop-Kauska. In the first class, Joshua Jeremy Fushia. In the first class, Oliver James Foxcroft. Tyron Carlo Gallant. In the first class, Natalie Gelderblom. In the first class, Taylor Gilbert. In the first class, Joseph David Goldblatt. In the first class, Chloe Jean Goldman. In the first class, Emily Kate Grant. In the first class, Max Dillon Hall. In the first class, Thalia Jenna-Beth Hawthorne. In the first class, Ayub Hendricks. In the first class, Kayla Courtney Hoyer. In the first class, Jordan Daniel Hugh. Donovan Lawrence Holm. Muhammad Uzair Jack. Sisanda Georgie. Daniel Aidan Holgate. Chandre Janse van Rensburg. Layla Abrahams. In the first class, Samira Kabir. In the first class, Faith Henry Katabwa. Molokatima Kekana. In the first class, Yana Kemp. Nahid Arshad Khan. Dineo Koza. In the first class, Shirley Ann Knight. Rorisang Ketabile Kobeko. In the first class, Arwan Kama. In the first class, Chloe Levy. In the first class, Robin Wendy Liversage. Bianca Lowe. Mbuso Affectionate Makamu. Siyanda Pilani Makatini. Letabo Ellen Makwa. In the first class, Daniel Francois Marais. Ebenezer Elmon Matebula. In the first class, Miriam Mather. In the first class, Anati Luyanda Mazibuko. Kabelo Lungile Mbai. Lekona Mbavani. In the first class, Mikhail Metz. In the first class, Hrithik Mita. In the first class, Simpile Olwetu Mkize. Honest Bushle Mshlandu. In the first class, Lutu Nkabisa. In the first class, Kabelo Moeloa. In the first class, Chidisu Vincent Mokele. Sivania Mudli. Khadija Amara Musa. In the first class, Oliver David Moses. Daniel Sabelo Msibi. In the first class, Rwanda Denga Mwedi. Lauren Alexandra Mukhabir. In the first class, Lynn Joy Murray. In the first class, Callum Musselwhite. Timothy Mwasia Muthama. In the first class, Spongiseni Lucas Nzizi. In the first class, Cameron Lee Naidu. Nkosinati Magnificent Nene. In the first class, Sipolele Sanaliso Nkosi. Tapelo Nyati. In the first class, Keegan O'Brien. In the first class, Quil Carthage O'Farrell. Mikhail Osman. In the first class, Prashant Padiachi. In the first class, Razik Parker. In the first class, Megan Ann Parker. Kishalan Patha. Nicholas Patha. Anne Frances Porteous. In the first class, Victoria May Pretorius. In the first class, Jessica Catherine Prevost. In the first class, Emily Catherine Rain. Mishka Ramraj. Karabo Hoitsione Rantwane. Rector Ratsaka. James Hunter Ridley. In the first class, Rowan John Rosenberg. In the first class, Jamie Aaron Rowe. In the first class, Benjamin van Duchteren. In the first class, Danielle Sabo. In the first class, Kenzo Sandenberg. In the first class, Malcolm Connor Scarrett. In the first class, Pietro Schiepers. In the first class, Christian Ignatius Scooter. Lindiwe Senkle. Duncan William Sefton. Loiso Sotole. In the first class, Ethan Joshua Smith. Sohan Ravindra Soni. In the first class, Robin Kate Stevenson. In the first class, Rachel Ann Strachan. Francesca Stradom. In the first class, Doran Ruben Sumaruk. Brenton Ruben Surya. In the first class, Kirsten Sutherland. In the first class, Charles Thomas. In the first class, Andre Turin. In the first class, Lee Toot. In the first class, Cormac Niall Trudeau. In the first class, Tanya Megan van der Merwe. In the first class, Tiaan van der Merwe. In the first class, Julian van der Westhuizen. In the first class, Megan Christie van Schoor. In the first class, Nicholas Liam van Tol. In the first class, Shaylin Valen. In the first class, Hannah Catherine Verrier. In the first class, Corey Webb. In the first class, Nathan Jack Wells. In the first class, Roxanne Willemse. Roche Anastasia Witboy. In the first class, Joseph Israel Zalesniak. In the first class, Monde Zwane. Master of Philosophy, Katharina Kaspers. With distinction in the dissertation, Natalie Psilos. Shannon Beth Weaver. Master of Science with distinction, Nabila Muhammad Adam. Grace Adote. Amy Hannah Aronsa. With distinction in the coursework, Yana Basson. With distinction, Grace Charmaine Carmichael. Kathleen Kelly Lindiwe Charlton. With distinction, Megan Kutsia. Jaden Collison. With distinction in the coursework component, Robin Kayla Daniels. Johannes Louis de Jager. Miriam Fredericks. With distinction in the coursework component, Jonathan Paul Lagier Harrison. Sasha Holloway. Tatiana Iverson Piazza. Cameron Taylor Lamont. Chilitsi Faith Mabushe. With distinction in the dissertation, Takunda Mashinya. Masakamisha Andres Matiba. Anele Matsebula. With distinction, Nina Elizabeth Matthews. Sivu Yusiwe Umbede. Ndivuo Nechiava. Misho Nkanyani. Pooja Pandey. With distinction in the dissertation, Chale Winnie Ramashia. With distinction, Sadia Rawat. With distinction, Claire Helen Roberts. With distinction, Stephanus Johannes Ruas. Alice Stillwell Rue. With distinction in the dissertation, Sanet Shitakela. With distinction in the coursework, Claire Louise Snibby. With distinction, Jody Thorburn. With distinction in the dissertation, Manala Jobeka. With distinction in the coursework component, Amil Valji. Michael Ryan Wade. Batsirai Ziki.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the award of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Today marks the culmination of years of dedication and hard work. This occasion is not just a reflection of individual accomplishments, but a testament to the collective pursuit of knowledge through conducting groundbreaking research, fostering of interdisciplinary collaborations, stimulating academic debates, and the mentoring of the next generation of scholars. As you move forward, remember that your education does not end here. It merely transforms you into a new phase where you will continue to ask questions, seek answers, and make meaningful contributions in your respective fields and to society at large. For the degree Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis titled Extended Theories of Gravity, the Early Universe and Stellar Interiors, Mariam Campbell. For the degree Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Ecology and Conservation of the Endangered Clanwilliam Sandfish Labio siberi in the Olifants-Doorn River System, South Africa, Cecilia Cirilla. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Neural Machine Translation for Low Resource Languages, Evelyn Asiko Chimoto. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Understanding Parents' Information Behavior During the First 1,000 Days to Inform Technology Design, Sarah Baartman. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Gene Regulation During Desiccation and Rehydration in the Seedlings of Xerophyta elegans and Xerophyta schlechteri, Michael Patrick Edwards. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled A Systematic Approach to the Identification, Mapping, and Spatial Prioritization of Vulnerable Marine Ecosystems in South Africa, Marie-Lise Franken. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Neutron Star X-ray Binaries with Meerkat, Kelebogile Virginia Stephanie Gasialawe. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Numerical Modeling of Wave Current Interaction in the Agulhas Current Towards Better Sea State Informations, Bafana Gweba. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Critically Engaged Archaeology, Prestwich Street Burial Grounds as a Case Study, Robin Angelique Humphreys. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Studying Gas Flows in the Sunbird Starburst Galaxies and Lurgs, Petronella Janse van Rensburg. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Investigating Biocharacter and Mechanisms of Progestins Used in Contraception via the Glucocorticoid Receptor, Implications for Choice of Contraception and HIV-1 Infection, Maleshiga Komane. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Decoding Mycobacterium abscessus biofilm formation, investigating the impact of in vitro model properties, parameters, nutrient availability, drug and lipid treatment on biofilm formation. Molopo Johannes Lipali. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Systematics and Diversification of the Genus Aspalathus Crotolariae Leguminosae, Lydia Como Madica. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Biodiversity Patterns of Free-Living Marine Nematodes as Indicators of Natural and Anthropogenic Change in False Bay, South Africa, Buyani Kulakashle Mazeka. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Reframing the Transition, a Mixed Methods Case Study of Mathematical Thinking Workshops in First Year University Mathematics, Mashudu Mokiti. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Taking the Heat, How Do Parent Birds Mitigate Costs of Breeding at High Temperatures, Benjamin Murphy. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Paleoecological Dynamics at the Fynbos Forest Ecotone, a multi-proxy study from Jonkershoek, South Africa, Glory Nicholas Oden. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Life History and Population Dynamics of the African Pygmy Falcon, an obligate associate of the sociable weaver, Olufemi Promise Olubadan. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled On Delsart-type extremal problems for positive definite functions, Mita Dimpo Ramabulana. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Tiny Little Fragments, Study of Archaeological Pottery Circulation in the Atacama Desert, Tarapacá, Northern Chile, through radiogenic isotopes, geochemistry, and petrography, Camila Belen Rera Soto. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Linearly Constrained Robust Portfolio Construction Using Bauer Householder Bounds on the Condition Number, Lara Rush. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Investigating Rural High School Mathematics Teachers' Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge Development using GeoGebra through a lesson study approach, Bernard John Senyomo. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled An Interdisciplinary Mixed Methods Approach to Understanding the Community-Based Natural Resource Management System and Human-Wildlife Interactions in Namibia, Francesca Marina Tavolaro. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled A Study of the Cosmological Singularity from Modified Gravity, Seturumane Johannes Thema. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled The Influence of Storms on the CO2 Flux in the Southern Ocean, Tisha Tulsi. Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Investigating the Feasibility of Yeast Surface Display for Isolating Antibodies to the Key Rainbow Trout Bacterial Pathogen Lactococcus pyotori, Julia Abigail Watson.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me in another thunderous round of applause to celebrate our new graduates, please. So what we have just witnessed is not merely the conferral of degrees. It is the formal recognition that these young men and women have crossed a threshold in their lives from which there is no return. For once the mind has been stretched by a new idea, it never quite returns to its original shape nor state. So those few but very daunting steps from that end to the VC and back to where you are seated were the most transformative, arguably, in your life. And as you would heard early on from Prof. Brandon Collier Reid, that initially we called you graduates, graduands, and when you went back there, you were no longer a graduate, but a graduate. And we use those very distinctly. So that distinction is very fundamental in an academic setting. So you are now graduates, and that comes with a lot of responsibilities. So as you step forward, remember that your degree carries both opportunity and responsibility. The knowledge and skills you've gained place you in a position to address real challenges, from climate change and public health to data science and innovation. Your work has the potential to shape society in many meaningful ways. And please remember that this achievement is also about those who supported you along the way. The families, the friends, the mentors, who in those moments of doubt, and we know for certain there were moments of doubt along this journey. In those moments of need, these people proved to be pillars of strength and hope in several ways. Some of them are present here this morning. And to that end, may I ask all of you graduates to stand up, please, and raise your scrolls and face in the direction of your parents, your friends, and wave your scrolls towards them. And please remain standing. I'm not going to let you go that easily. You'll also agree with me that for a setting of this kind, the equation of success is never complete without that teacher, without that mentor, without that supervisor, and of course, our professional and support staff, all of whom served to impart knowledge, to provide guidance, and of course, lead the path where you on your own perhaps would have stumbled. Now again, raise your scrolls, wave them, but now face in the direction of the stage. You may now take your seats. You can take your seats. And please let this moment sink. You have now earned your right to go to the darkest corners of this world and shine the light. Do that with boldness and do that with purpose. I now invite our presiding officer, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Mushabala, to the podium.
Good morning. I'm going to try that again, just to see if there's anyone still left in the Sarah Baartman Hall this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. I'd like to take this moment to thank our program director, Professor Thokozani Majosi. He is our Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research and Internationalization, joining us from Wits University at the beginning of this year. Let's give him a round of applause. I'd like to also welcome the golden graduates. If you look to this side of the room, you'll see a number of people seated in that row, in that front row, wearing golden scarves. These are graduates of the University of Cape Town who graduated from the University of Cape Town 50 years ago, 50. Many of them have traveled far and wide to come and join you and celebrate you. And they happen to be in your graduation. Thank you very much, golden graduates. Much appreciate your presence. Let me also welcome all of you, the parents, the guardians, family, partners, loved ones, friends, cousins, all of you, for coming this morning to join us for this auspicious ceremony to celebrate an important milestone for our graduates. The program director has already indicated that as the University of Cape Town, we very much recognize the role that you play in the lives of our graduates. You bring them here in their first year, you bring them here for their postgraduate studies, you entrust them to us. I know that some of them are defiant. They choose us anyway, even when you don't want them to come here. But we are very much honored that you have entrusted your family members to us at the University of Cape Town for their training, their education, their growth, their development, their future, their career. We are very grateful. I also want to thank you for the support that you provide behind the scenes. The kind of support that we don't see, we know it exists. We acknowledge it, and I want to thank you very much for that support, and please continue to do so into the future as they will continue to need your support. Now, I would like you to take this moment and show them how you feel about their graduation. That is not loud enough. This Sarah Baartman Hall can handle much more than that. Give us better, please. Thank you very much. I'm not encouraging you to break down our building, please. Let me also take this opportunity to thank the people that are seated in front of you. The academics, the professors, the associate professors, the senior lecturers, the tutors, the technical teams, the professional, administrative, and support staff. There are many people behind the scenes who run the ecosystem that ensures the education of our graduates. And again, much of the work that they do, we do not get to see. They toil every day in the background. And believe you me, these guys give them headaches. We are not complaining. I just want to take a moment to thank them, to thank all of you for the work that you do to ensure that we deliver quality education for our graduates. We would not be the University of Cape Town that we are if it wasn't for the work that you do. Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. There's a lady standing next to me. I don't know if you notice her. She was busy translating when the dean was presenting the topics of the PhDs, and I was wondering how she's able to do that. My name is Michelle de Bruin. Thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause. Let me turn to you, graduates. I understand that you are no longer graduates, you are graduates. Congratulations to you. We are very much honored as the University of Cape Town that you chose us. You chose to study with us. You could have gone anywhere else. Not that you had much of a choice. But you still trusted us with your education. Spend the time here with us. But most importantly, did the work. You did the hard work. Family members, you will often hear when they read out their names that they will mention distinction and first-class honors and first class, and you would think that we give this out for free. We do not. We also pride ourselves very much in academic excellence, and we keep our standards very, very high. And so them achieving those amazing results is not because we dropped the standards, it's because they worked very hard to reach that threshold and surpass it. These young people have been working very, very hard. At times, it's been difficult. It shows in the emotions that you show when you cross the stage. It shows that you spend many nights, sleepless nights, working hard. A few tears here and there. But you have persevered, stayed the course, showed commitment, showed grit, and worked hard to reach this milestone. And for that, I want to thank you for your hard work and congratulate you. I want you to uphold those values of academic excellence. Do not drop them in whatever path you take here onwards, in whatever direction you take. Maintain excellence. Maintain excellence to represent us as the University of Cape Town well for the education that we have given you. To represent your families well for the support that they have given you and the confidence that they have, and for their cheerleading support. To represent yourselves well. Continue to do that. All of you are going to find yourselves in leadership roles in one way, one form or another. You will be leading people. So do not focus only on your success as you journey forward, but also focus on the success of others. Lift others as you rise. And for you to be able to do that, you have to recognize that leadership is a responsibility. It comes with this burden of having to ensure that other people are taken care of and are cared for. Yes, you have to make sure that you take care of yourself and your well-being, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, physically, spiritually, all of it. If you do that, you will become and continue to grow as the best version of yourself. But also, look after others as you journey through your leadership experience. There are values that we have shared with you, the values of Ubuntu, values of respect, of kindness, of compassion, of humility. Carry this with you as you journey forward. They will serve you well. You walk into a world that is fractured, that is polarized, that is divided in many ways and many respects. We wish you strength as you navigate these complexities. You have been educated, skilled, equipped to handle it. Trust yourself to be able to handle it. Trust in your strength, trust in your ability, trust in the support that you have of those people around you. Tap into it. The people that are seated next to you will become and continue to be the social capital that you need to navigate the complexities of this world. They will journey with you for many, many years to come. And perhaps 50 years from now, many of you will be seated on this side of the room, celebrating a golden milestone. We look forward to that moment. You will always be associated with the University of Cape Town as graduates and alumni of this university. We are going to follow your story. We are going to listen to your story, and we would like to be able to tell your story. We engage with a lot of alumni of the University of Cape Town across the globe, and it's a large network of 300,000 graduates, many of them in leadership roles across the globe, and many of them providing a lot of support and providing a lot of service in their roles. We pride ourselves in what they're able to do, and we watch those stories, and we want to be able to tell those stories. I therefore ask you to not stay and stray too far from the University of Cape Town. This will always be your home. And if you ever need to come back to study further, you'd be most welcome to come and study further. If you ever want to come back and provide service here and teach here, you'll be most welcome. If you ever want to give back to UCT in any way and donate to UCT, you'd also be most welcome. You would also be most welcome, especially on the donation part. I wish you well, and we take pride in your achievements, and we pride ourselves in your careers that you're embarking on and the journeys that you're going to travel. We know that you're already going to succeed, and we wish you well. Together, we are the University of Cape Town. UCT is not a leading university by mistake. It takes the effort of all our stakeholders to make a success of our institution, including all of our alumni, all our graduates, yourselves. So, thank you very much for the ceremony today. Go and enjoy and celebrate with your family. Have fun. Don't get in any trouble. Don't stay out too late. But take a moment to enjoy this milestone. For the love of truth and of learning and of this, our university. Thank you very much.
Thank you, VC, for those words of wisdom. Let's hope that they will find a permanent place in our graduates as they leave this institution to join the world that awaits them. We are almost now at the end of the program, and before our presiding officer does what he has to dissolve the congregation, let me just explain a few things as to how the next few seconds or minutes would unfold. So once we've been allowed to stand, may you remain standing and allow the procession to leave the hall. And in leaving the hall, I would ask the golden grads to join, as my colleague called them, the platform party. Apparently, this is the platform party. Once they've left the hall, I would ask the golden grads to join them, followed by the graduates, and walk all the way to the foot of the steps, all the way down to University Avenue. And there's a good reason for that. It is to capture the iconic Sarah Baartman building. And by now you know that any photo without the Sarah Baartman building is not a UCT photo. So to capture that well and not regret in future, let's do that. Walk all the way to the foot of the step at University Avenue. That's it.
Let's stand. By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I hereby dissolve this congregation of the University of Cape Town.